Okay, I think we're on video number 5, right? Because we've done the 1, we've done the 4 and the 5, we've done the 7 and 11. So no, we're only on video number 4. Video number 4, playing the 8. I know I say this in every video, but it probably holds true more so with the 8 than any other position. These are some real loose guidelines on how to play the 8. Don't let it make you think that you're going somewhere where you can't go or shouldn't go or whatever, because you're the 8. You're the box-to-box mid. You're the center mid. There's nowhere on this field that I wouldn't expect to see you go. Real quick, being a center mid is probably the most difficult position for me personally. So my explanations of this might seem a little vague, but some people just pick up being able to play the 8 really well. Other people struggle for, and it was definitely a struggle for me to ever try to play a central position that had the freedom that an 8 usually sees. As usual, we'll go over some of your defensive roles as the 8 and attacking roles, and just some general stuff. Defensive roles, plug a hole. I told you that last year. I'm telling you that again this year. As the 8, one of your main defensive roles is going to be to plug a hole. Number 2, we've talked about pressure cover. When we are defending, because everybody defends, everybody attacks. When we are defending and the 7, 11, or the 9 are pressuring the ball in the offensive half, it's generally your job to provide that cover. We don't want the 4 or the 5 pushing all the way up to the corner to provide cover to the 7 or the 11 if they're over there. It's usually better for the 8 to slide over and provide that cover. Stay connected, or as the 8, you also have the special ability to connect people for them and track runners. A lot of times when the ball is out wide, when we start playing more and more talented teams, as the balls are out wide, how I always tell you guys to go towards the goal, they're going to start doing that. And as the 8, you've got to be aware of people making runs in that central channel towards goal, because they're very dangerous there. And it's your job to mark them, to track them, to stay with them. In the attacking role, you're a ball chaser. I've been telling midfielders they're ball chasers all my life, but really that's you. Maybe the ball isn't at your feet. Maybe the ball's at the 7's feet or the 9's feet. You're still chasing that ball. You're still working on creating an angle to support whoever does have the ball. Then, of course, I said creating angles be an option during goal kicks. We already talked about that during goal kicks, but we'll go over it real quick. And then also, be a 4 or a 5. Now, understand this is during the attacking role, not the defensive role, so it's different than plugging a hole. And you guys, once I tell you what being a 4 or a 5 is, it'll make perfect sense to you. You guys already do it all the time. But first off, plugging a hole on the defensive role. You're out here minding your business, being an 8, staying central, and the ball is coming down towards our goal, which is down here. We're attacking this way, and our number 5 has slid out to pressure that ball because the 11 has been beat. And you notice that the 4 hasn't slid over to provide that cover for the 5. Just not paying attention, they're preoccupied, whatever. Plug that hole. Get in there, plug that hole. Same might be true with the 5s came over to pressure, the 4s came over to provide cover, and you notice that the 7 over here on the right hasn't dropped in to help balance out the defense. Plug that hole, balance out the defense. Tell the 7 to slide over centrally to mark runners or whatever it was that you feel like is important over here. Provide cover to the 7-11, just like we talked about. If the other team has the ball, so the 7 doesn't have the ball, this bad guy right here does. That's still on screen. They're all the way up here in the corner. We don't want the 4 to get all the way up here to provide cover. That's, that makes it look like they're not that far, but we'll say the bad guy in the 7 is all the way up here in the corner. We don't want the 4 coming that far out of position to provide that cover. So slide over here and provide the cover for the 7 or the 11. And again, the 9, if the ball's in the middle and the bad guy has it right here, and the 9 is is applying pressure, we don't want the 4 or the 5 pushing all the way up towards the goal. Slide in to provide cover to them. On a side note of providing cover, you don't want to provide cover directly behind the person. So you don't want to be directly behind the 9 right here. You want to pick one side or the other, and generally speaking, you want to pick the side that prevents them from getting central, because they're more of a danger centrally than they are out wide. So you'll notice I put the 8 here in the middle while providing cover for the 9. Track runners. Not a lot more to explain than when we were just talking about. Bad guy has the ball over here out wide. That's our left side. So the 11's out here applying pressure. The 5 is providing cover. The 4 slid over to balance out the defense. You see a bad guy running centrally looking for that early cross or something. It's your job to try get goal side of them. Right here. You're on the side with the ball. You're also in between them and the goal-ish to eliminate them as a runner. Attacking roles. Chase the ball. The pitch is split into 3 different channels, right? And I always tell you, you live in your channel plus 1. Well, you're the 8. You live in the central channel. So plus 1 either direction is the left or the right. So wherever that ball goes, you're cleared hot. Go chase that ball. Like I said, that may look like the 11 has the ball up here attacking, and you're just sliding in to provide some support. The ball goes all the way across and they miss. The 7's now got the ball. You slide over to provide support. You're still a ball chaser, even though we're playing big kid soccer. Be an option during goal kicks. We already talked about this during the goal kick video. 4 and 5 inside the box to buy us some time. 7 and 11 out wide. You're right here at the top, inside that kind of arc or semicircle right there at the top. Maybe the 7-11 are marked up really well. You're not. Play it out to you. You can turn, move the ball up. Or maybe they play it to you to play it off to a 5 or a 4, who can then get a little bit more power on it out to the 7 or 11. We went over that already. Creating angles. I put staying connected in the defensive role, so I'm going to double back to that just a little bit. We already talked about staying connected, right? As a midfield unit, the 8 tries to stay connected to the 11, the 9 tries to stay connected to the 11 and the 8, 7 to the 9 and the 8, 5 and the 4 and everything else. So right here you can see that we are all connected. And as long as the 8 stays in the middle there, it will stay that way. But if the 8 drops out of there, now all of a sudden there's several people not connected just by the 8 moving. Whereas so instead of forcing several people to move to get connected, you can create connections by your ability to continually move around the entire field. Create angles. Talked about that a lot last year as a midfielder, creating angles. If one of our players has the ball and there's bad guys in between you and them and you can't see the ball, you're not in a good angle. Move. Constantly be moving, because off-ball movement creates opportunities. Constantly be moving, constantly create new angles to where you can see that ball and give support, whether backwards, forwards, or wide, for your teammates. Be a 4 or 5. This is different than plugging the hole. Sorry about that. Jonathan just got home from school and those door hinges are noisy. We've moved up here. We're attacking. Ball gets dropped back to the 4. All the bad guys are over here. The 4 decides to come up here and join into the attack, you should be the person as the 8 enough to drop in and cover them as defense. So that's what I mean by be a 4 or a 5, right? You guys are already really awesome about doing that. If Gabe's playing the 4 and the 5, and we all know Gabe loves to make those runs up there. We know Landry W will make those runs up there too, and we do a great job of somebody dropping in and covering for them. But I want you to know, as the 8, that's your primary responsibility, is to be that person that drops in there and provides that coverage while they're making that run up there. Okay, that's it for playing the 8. See you guys later.